a $50,000 video that would end up costing $60,000, and we're $10,000 negative. And then she'll be like, okay, once we make this back and we're in green, like let's put some money aside. I'm like, nah, let's keep going. We made $60,000 this month. It's on an uptrend. And $1 million, way less than $500,000. I'll tell you that. Yeah, and then there's a brand deal on it. But even then, after everything's said and done, because that's not including the cost of the people to produce it and stuff like that. So it's closer to like 1.3 million to do the video. We're definitely not going to make over $1 million on that video. So I don't know. I just want to make the best videos possible. I'm not a businessman. I'm a creator. I want to make the best videos possible. This helps. And I believe as long as we're doing everything in our power to make the best videos possible, people will watch them. And I don't know. I'm a lunatic. I think YouTube's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It comes installed on every Android device, which is like 85% of all operating systems, and 90% of searches in the West are on Google, which YouTube pops up on. I think, like I've told you guys multiple times, gaming viewership in the last 2 years has doubled. Like you can throw up the tweet, the reports, like that's factual. In the last 2 years, and 2 years ago, gaming was freaking huge, and it's doubled. I think YouTube in 10 years is going to be bigger than we all imagine. I have no freaking down my patience today, because it's the perfect time where if you're ordering lunch around like 5 or 6, like it's a reminder.
But I was just like,
the conversion's best. We see that at 4. And it's also like if I tweet about it or do a post, like at the start, I'm an idiot. I don't know. I never ran a restaurant. Like sometimes I would do like a swipe up at like 10 p.m. for Beast Burger.
Right.
And most of the restaurants are closed. And then one day I was like, man, these swipe ups aren't really doing much. And then I realized I'm doing it whenever all the restaurants are closed. And I started doing it at like 4 p.m. and I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. What's what we were talking about before the podcast. We're working on breaking ground in our first place, our first physical restaurant. I won't spoil where. Okay. But we got the first one in progress, and eventually I want to scale up and do other ones. I got some fun. I don't know if it's possible. Like, I'm going to say stuff. It might not be doable. So if this isn't what ends up happening, like, it's not on me. I'm going to push the boundaries. But I would love to. Well, it's also different because the COVID world. But you know how like McDonald's used to always have the slides behind it? Yeah. I want those back. I want to put those at Beast Burger locations. I want to. And now the other stuff I'm not going to say, because if I don't do it, then people are going to be like, you said you would do this. But I have a bunch of ideas to like modernize the restaurant. But maybe there's a reason restaurants don't do it. So we'll see as we're designing the first one currently. Well, hopefully it's just the food's amazing. You know what I mean? And I mean, everything. Whoever, obviously, at the end of the day, I'm waking up and I'm obsessing over how to make the best YouTube videos possible. So as we build out the Beast Burger team, like whoever it is, like, I don't want people to have to wait in a line at a fast food. I don't want to, like, whatever other people are doing, I don't care. I want to be a modern restaurant that just on everyone somehow. I don't know how. I don't care. I don't care if it makes money. Just I want the best experience.
Yeah, like, about that.
I think it's just an independent business. Like it's I mean, Beast Burger has a kind of good ring to it, like Five Guys. Like
Beast
if
Burger,
Five Guys didn't exist, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go start a company named Five Guys. You'd be like, I mean, that's not that crazy of a name. Like I like the name Beast Burger. I think the menu is phenomenal. Like I think it has a chance, like independent of me, just to grow. You know what I mean? Like if Five Guys can be successful, like why can't Beast Burger? You know what I mean? Especially for obsessed, innovating, and adapting, and just reinvesting everything. Just literally what I did on YouTube, I want to do at the restaurant. Like it makes money, it's profitable, and I'm just like, yeah, just keep it. Like grow. Like, don't give me the money. With that one, I just wanted to keep just reinvesting and just growing and go build another restaurant, go do whatever. No, I mean, at the end of the day, I would give it all up for the main channel. I just want to be the biggest YouTuber I can possibly be and make the best videos possible. That you gotta have laser-like focus. If you lose focus and you get too scatterbrained, then you just like that's how you just fall off. Or like we see a lot of creators, they start doing too many things, and then like their content fades, and what got them where they was isn't there anymore. And when the channel dies, so do all those businesses and stuff like that. Like laser-like focus. I just want to be the fucking now. I just ever since I was 13, I just made the decision I was going to be a YouTuber. I was going to die trying. Sounds different hearing me say it now, but I had that type of like devotion when I was younger. Like even when people would tell me it's crazy, no odds in my favor, with no equipment, no nothing, no social skills, no editing, no camera, no one to teach me, no one to help me. I was just like, I don't care. I'm going to figure it out or I'm going to die trying. And I like, even in high school, like, you know, when I'm 17 and not making any money, well, I'm making money off of YouTube, like $100 a month, but nothing crazy. And I have horrible grades. And like, you know, people are like, okay, well, what are you going to do after high school? And I'm like, I'm going to be a YouTuber. And they'd be like, how? And I'd be like, I don't know, but I'm going to make it happen. It's like, I feel like it was programmed in me. That sounds weird, but I just feel like I just have DNA that just was like, you're gonna be a YouTuber. Like, not in a sense I was destined to make it, but that like that's just how my brain has been. Like, I'm gonna be a YouTuber, or I'm gonna be 80 with 1,000 subscribers. Like, there's no world where I wasn't a YouTuber in my future.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. People thought it was crazy. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me either. I was just like, I'm gonna be a YouTuber, and people would be like, how? And I'd be like, I don't know, but I'm gonna be one. I'm just gonna figure it out. I don't care. Like, if I never made it, you know, and I only had 5,000 subscribers, I would probably be working at McDonald's, still just grinding YouTube every hour I'm not working, and like just going hard as fuck until I became. I guess that's not my main focus, but the main goal, as it should be, is to make the best videos possible. Because if you're making the best videos possible, you'll get all the things you want. Like, if I want to go Beast Burger, we'll make the best videos possible. If I want to be the biggest YouTuber, make the best videos possible. So that is what I guess I might have misspoke earlier. That is what the laser focus should be, making the best video possible. And 99% of what a creator wants will happen if you do that. And I mean, I'm going on 10 years, and I love it more than anything. You took my channel away from me, like Monopoly, because Monopoly, which I was telling you guys, is like very dice and luck based, but Catan is so strategic and like hang out with Elon Musk or stuff like that. But obviously that's not possible. It's like there's levels. Like, if I had like the perfect friend group, I'd go hang out with other entrepreneurs. I'd go hang out with people, and just like if right next door there's another YouTuber, I just walk over there and be like, yo, teach me something. That at the end of the day is what I love the most. But whatever, anime or stuff, I try to just work as much as I can. I mean, even just being friends with them. Like, I call you like at least once a week pretty religiously. You know, I have a rotation of that, but I'd love to like revamp the list of people I call every week. Like, I always just call people listening and just like be like, yo, teach me something. That's how you stay on your A game, and you're always learning. And I don't know, I feel like it's just run dry. Like, you know, I haven't met like a new YouTuber in like months that I'm like, wow, like this guy's a genius. And I'm not saying there's not one. I'm just saying I haven't found that person. Like, I'm actively like right now, like I would hire someone to just give like and pay serious money for someone just to give me a list of like up and coming YouTubers that I could like talk to on a weekly basis and just learn from. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know, it used to be so abundant before, but you know, and I've talked to probably 500 YouTubers at this point. So I've like squeezed the list dry, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, that I would love more than anything just to talk to other smart YouTubers. I don't know. I mean, YouTube's bigger than ever. More creators are coming up than ever. So I don't know why. I mean, like, you know, obviously you got A-Rock and Tyler Oliveira on, they come up, and I'm sure there are tons of other people. I don't know why I'm struggling to find them. I mean, there's probably so many people that went from like, whatever, 100,000 subscribers to over 1 million in the last year, probably 10,000 plus, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't know, where's the master list? You know what I mean? Someone give it to me, you know? Well, but the hard thing is probably like 90% of them do it as a hobby, which there's nothing wrong with that, but they're not like laser focused, intense, you know what I mean? Not like, probably 99% of them, you know what I mean? Like, I need a list of that 100 that are like living and breathing it. And
what are you looking for?
I mean, the biggest thing is you gotta be interested in the YouTube space. Like, even if you're like the best logistics person in the world, like if you don't love YouTube, you're not, you know, you're not interested in learning about it, you're probably not gonna have too much success, because everything we do is from the standpoint of making the videos as good as possible. So if you're not obsessed about that, it doesn't matter if you can figure out how to get a truck on Mars, you know what I mean? If you get it there and it's not positioned the right way, or doesn't have certain things inside of it that makes good content, or whatever's best for content, then it doesn't really, that's a hard thing. That, I mean, for people we're interested in, I mean, we just bring them down and just have them shadow us, follow our people, and we just dump our brain in them. But for people that don't have that opportunity, I mean, just study YouTube, watch a ton of YouTube. I mean, like, people trash on internships, and we don't really do them, but if I wanted to learn how to be a YouTuber, I would just find an internship with a smart YouTuber and just be like, yo, you don't even have to pay me. I'll work my butt off. Just let me learn. You know what I mean? I'd just be like, just let me do this until I feel like I've learned enough. And like, you would learn so much from people. As it sounds, that's usually what it takes. Like, I coached the guy from like, I mean, the guy who's been doing YouTube for like 6 or 7 years, and like, he was like making like whatever, like $20,000 a month, and I coached him up to the point where he was making like 250 grand a month. And like, but it was like a similar story to you, like a constant year of me just beating his head in and be like, no, you dingus, do this. And he'd be like, no, like, here's why I do this. He'd be like, that's wrong, but whatever. There comes a point where you can't force someone to do it. So you just back up, and then eventually, usually people like come around to it and they try it, and then they try it.
Right. But
you guys should be getting, in a perfect world, like 4 or 5 million views a video. Like, you should. Like, you guys are smart enough. Like, if it's not, then it just wasn't a good enough video, in my opinion.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even the videos we did that are your most viewed videos could be way better. Right. Well, subscribers is an arbitrary number.
Okay, so that doesn't matter. Million views a video.
No, you should ask me what helps us make the best videos possible. That's the only question you should ask me. Subscribers don't matter. Views don't matter. I mean, they do, but all that comes. Everything you want as a creator comes from making the best videos possible and thumbnails. But it's easier to make thumbnails. The video part's the hard part, and that's the thing that you're known for. No one's known for no one's like the biggest YouTuber in the world because they have the best thumbnails, right? It's also because they have great, phenomenal content. You know what I mean? Like that's the hard part that very few people do well, and that's what people remember. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna have some random dude when you're walking down the street of Paris go like, yo, that's the guy with the great thumbnails. You know, they're gonna be like, no, that's the guy with the phenomenal videos that whatever, held his breath for 40 minutes underwater or things like that. So that's a tip for you guys, but also you guys watching. Ask, how can I make my videos better? Do that every single day for years, and then you'll probably get views. You're not like, this is a banger, this is gonna bang, no doubt in my mind. Even though you're gonna be wrong 9% of the time, then it's not a good. And it did worse than your other 9 videos. Exactly. I mean, the thing is, like, it's a lot harder for us because like what we're doing are big productions over the span of months. Things get distorted. I visualized a giant mountain of money and this, and someone scooping it up in a tractor, and then you do it, and it's not as epic. You're like, oh, this is kind of lame. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just. I just watch it, honestly, and I just, like, if there's ever a moment where I'm even slightly bored, I'm like, cut it. And if there's something where I'm not just like, wow, like the whole time, then it's like, don't upload it. Over 100 videos in my life, like, completely filmed. I've spent probably, I don't even want to pull a number on it, but ungodly amounts of money on videos of my life that don't get uploaded. I don't give a f. Best video possible, or get it out of my face. I don't care. Well, it might. This one is kind of on the fence. We're re-editing it, but if you never see it, then we did a video where we built like 10 sets, and I built like 10 replicas of banks, and it was rob this bank, I'll give you $100,000. And then so like bank vault number 1, the boys had to break into the bank, and whoever broke into the bank first got what was inside, and the vault's empty. And I'm like, so this vault's empty, and some of the other vaults are empty, but one of these vaults, when you open it, will get $100,000. And so they had to break in. So they had to break into a bunch of banks, and all of them were empty. And then after like 9 ones, the 10th one, which they're like, none of these banks have the money in. They finally break in. I don't want to spoil it, but one of the boys broke in, and then they open it, and there's $100,000 in cash. It's like, congratulations, you robbed the correct bank. And it's cool, but the sets were a little bland, and the bits weren't as funny. And I didn't think it was as good as it could be. But hopefully, we're like on our 12th edit. Hopefully this one maybe fixes some of the problems. Oh boy. Well, let's see. Oh God, Tariq, you have any inspiration to throw at me? Yeah, I mean, Team Trees was. I enjoyed it, but that was a ton, man. I mean, me and Mark Rober worked on that for like 8 months leading up to it. I don't want to overexaggerate it. Maybe it was 7 or 6, and. I was like, it started with me wanting to plant 1 million trees, and I was reaching out to all these YouTubers that do environmental stuff, and the gist was just like, you're crazy. You're like, this just isn't possible. You just can't plant 1 million trees. They're like, it takes like hours to plant like 100, and they're like, what are you thinking? And then I'm like, yo, Mark, can you build me something to plant trees? And like, so me and Mark are like scheming how to plant 1 million trees, and then I was closing in on 20 million subscribers, and I did like this thing where I gave my 3 million subscriber pennies, 4 million subscriber like popcorn, 5 million, blah, blah, blah. And someone on Reddit was like, you should give your 20 million subscriber, or for 20 million subscribers, you should plant 20 million trees. I was like, Mark, I know 1 million's impossible, but get this. Let's plant 20 million trees to celebrate me hitting 20 million subscribers. And he's like, you're a fucking idiot. And I was like, let's do it. And then we're like, as we ran down the rabbit hole, we're like, there's no world where we're doing this. And then we're like, well, what if we gather all our fans and we do like different events and plant them? And then we're like, nope, that would still only plant like 100,000. Like that won't work. And then we were like, okay, well, what if we pay people to do it? And then, or what if we do seed drives? What if we have our fans buy seeds? We sell seeds at cost. They buy it, they plant it in their yard, and then we do research for a month. And we're like, it could be an invasive species. It could do more harm than good. I don't know if I trust 14-year-old Billy to understand whether or not they can plant that next to a pine tree. So then we're like, dude, and we're going on for months on months. We're just figuring out how the hell do we plant 20 million trees? Every week we're having calls. And then I don't remember how, but we got connected with the Arbor Day Foundation. They've planted like, I don't know the exact number, but I know it's over 100 million trees. They're experts. Like this is what they do, and they're just like, yeah, we can plant a tree. They told us their cost, and we were like, can you get it down to $1? And they're like, I mean, yeah, at scale we could plant a tree for $1. And I was like, boom, there you go. And me and Mark were like, okay, all we need is $20 million, and they can plant the 20 million trees for my 20 million subscriber special. I'm already past 20 million subscribers at this point, but I'm like, fuck it, we're in too deep. And then now it's like, okay, how do we get $20 million so we can plant 20 million trees? And then we just started figuring out slogans. Like, there's so much stuff that never even made the internet, like trick shot for trees. We were gonna try to make a viral TikTok trend and get it where like you did a trick shot, and if you missed, you had to donate $10 to plant 10 trees, and then you had to challenge someone else, like ripping off ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. And so we're developing this for like a month, and then we're like literally like testing it, and then like I'm shooting a trick shot, donating trees, I'm challenging people like in these fake videos, and we're like roasting them. We're like, nah, this isn't gonna go viral. Like no one cares, right? And we're just workshopping all this, and then I don't know how we landed on it, but then we're just like, you know what? We're just gonna get our audience to donate, and we're just gonna get every YouTuber we know to make videos on it, and we're gonna just magically pray we don't only raise $500,000 and look like the biggest idiots on the planet. And so we somehow got a list. It wasn't from YouTube. It was like some company that does a lot of YouTube data. They sell to like media companies, and they just gave us a list of like all the biggest YouTubers, like on an Excel sheet. And me and Mark just like, it took forever, man. We're just going down the list, and I'd be like, do they follow you on Twitter? No. Do they follow me on Twitter? No. Do they follow? And we'd check our Instagram. We'd find some way to reach out to that creator, or someone who follows us that follows them. We'd be like, hey, get us in contact. And we'd be like, hey, doing this thing, make a video about trees, tell your fans every dollar they donate, boom. And we went down this list, DM'd over 1,000 of the biggest creators, got hundreds of them to make videos on it. They all launched at the same time as our videos, and the first day we raised millions of dollars, and we crushed our. Oh man, there's so many, like literally, it was 6 months of me just being, and Mark more so than me. I'm of the kind of like, okay, let's do it nature, but Mark's like, every other day we'd have mental breakdowns. We're like, we're not gonna raise $20 million. What are we, crazy? Like we should do $2 million, and I'd just be like, nah, let's do $20 million. I hit 20 million subscribers. Mark, it's a funny story. And then I would convince him. I'd be like, and also it's $20 million by 2020. See, it's a good slogan. And he's like, oh, well, if you put it that way, I guess we'll just keep the unrealistic goal. It's the biggest thing I've ever done. I mean, literally, not all 20 million have been planted. I think like 12, 13, somewhere in there has been planted. I think all of them, all 20 million will be planted by the end of next year. And good
videos.
Yeah, but like, and the thing is, like 99% of people, even if you had that idea, like, I mean, that was so much time, man. So much time, and so many, like, it started with 1 million, and it's like half a year of just nonstop obsession and grinding and reaching out and learning and trick shot for trees and this and that, all just culminating to that final end point. And like 99% of people would have gave up. Like, they would have gone, I want to plant 1 million trees, and someone would have gone, you can only plant 100, and they would have been like, oh, well, guess I can't do it. You know what I mean? Well, of course. I mean, if you could post something and everyone in the world would watch it, you'd be the most powerful man.